Hello there, I'm Scotty. No, we're not. I know I'm a day late, dollar short, but I had stuff going on last night. Wasn't able to watch Superman, Lois, and Gotham Knights, so I wasn't able to get this out last night like I would have. But yeah, let's talk about Gotham Knights. Okay, when this series was announced, I was iffy on it. First of all, nobody knew what kind of universe it was going to be set in. You know, I mean, with the idea, obviously it couldn't be in the Arrowverse, but there was rumors that it could be in the same universe as Superman and Lois. Of course, now we know that's not true. But just the premise, I gave it the benefit of the doubt, and I did end up, much like with the Winchesters, I gave it the benefit of the doubt, and I just went with it. And by the end of the season, I was into it. And although my interest in the show wasn't helped by the fact that with 3 episodes left to air, they canceled it. Why the fuck would you do that? You wait until after the show is aired. After they finish airing all the episodes, then you make the announcement that it's canceled. Because if you have people who are invested in this show, and then 3 episodes to go, oh, the show's canceled, not coming back for another season, people are going to go, oh, then I don't need to watch this. So now you are not going to get, now your viewing average is going to drop because you decided to announce the cancellation. If you had aired your finale and then a couple days to a week later, announced that it was canceled, I mean, not a lot of people knew, or not a lot of people believed it would go any further than this. Apparently the showrunners thought it would because cliffhangers, but I don't know. I just feel like maybe, then again, the CW this season has just been, ever since it got purchased, it's gone downhill. They're making decisions. Now they renew Superman Lois for season 4, but like almost every single one of the side characters that have made that show great this season are just going to the wayside. And without going into spoilers on that finale, because eventually I'm going to review the season, that finale set up a lot of things that I don't think we're going to get resolved unless it's the major cliffhanger at the end of the episode. But yeah, so the premise of this show didn't have me convinced at all. First of all, I am sick of having a Batman property without Batman. I understand they're doing movie stuff that don't do anything with Batman. You had, for years, it was teased that there was Batman in the Arrowverse, and then they decided, oh, we'll make it Batwoman. And while the first season of that show was good, I've delved into why I did not watch it after that. I'm not going to go into it here. And then we were talking about the Gotham Knights video game, and in that video game, Batman is dead, and his kids are all taking up mentals to defend Gotham City. And now with this show, Batman is dead, and his adoptive son and his friends, as they become, are framed for the murder and have to clear their name. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's the idea. I was just like, I don't know about this. I don't know. I want, that there hasn't been a live action Batman TV series since the 1966 Adam West series. Every other Batman series, live action Batman series, had tiptoed around Batman. Like Gotham. We're going to tell the story of James Gordon, how he became the hardboiled detective and commissioner that he became. Bruce Wayne's going to be in there, but he won't be Batman to the last fucking episode. And then, even then, it's a flash forward to the future. And then Batwoman. And now this. They're pussyfooting around it. They're tiptoeing around Batman. I just want a live action Batman TV show. I think I integrated Batman into the Arrowverse with my fan fiction in my fucking head than anything Batwoman ever did. Okay? This show, to me, people saying it's the worst Batman show. I don't think so. Because Birds of Prey exists. And I couldn't get past one episode of that thing. I'm going to have to eventually for a video, but yeah, that was just too much. I think there was some promise here. And I really think they should have given it one more season to show. But the CW is just so... They don't want any more expensive... They're cheap ass. They're being cheap ass. They don't want to produce these high budget shows anymore. They're cheap. They're being cheap, and they're canceling big budget stuff. They're forcing other shows to go into their final seasons, like Riverdale, The Flash, and they're cutting costs by getting rid of most of the supporting cast. This season of Superman Lois has been the best, and I think season 4 is going to suck because they're taking everything that was the heart and soul of this season that made the show good, and they're just limiting it down to 5 characters, and that's just not going to do anything. Sorry, my opinion on what the CW is doing. I had to get it out somewhere. But I found myself connecting with this show as it went along. And yes, I was one of those who saw it was canceled. Oh, now it feels like I have to finish to see how it ends. And yeah, like 2 weeks ago episode or whatever, before the break, they went on a 1 week break because we got a 1 week break. And so I realized the day that next episode was going to air, I hadn't watched that episode, so I watched it. There are some ideas here that they could have expanded upon. I like the use of the Court of Owls. I know Gotham did it, but I feel like they did better here. Except for, I feel like the last 3 episodes, everything just unraveled with the story plots that they were trying to tell. It just started to unravel for me. Particularly in this last episode, there were things that just went... 3 different things that just went in a different direction. I'm like... Okay. So yeah, so you have these characters. You have Turner Hayes, the adoptive son of Batman, who I don't even know how he got in there, but you have Harper Row and her brother Cullen, and then Duella, who is told to be the daughter of the Joker. That unravels later. And they're doing some kind of job. They're trying to steal something, and they run into Turner Hayes. They're framed, and then they're running into Turner Hayes, who is also framed because they say he wanted the money, I guess. I don't know. You have Stephanie Brown, played by Anna Lore, who is good, but I could tell right away there was something off about her. I'm like, why does she look older than everyone else? She's 30, playing a 16-year-old. And there are moments where, like, there's one moment where she's like, well, I'm a minor. And I'm like, you look 30. You can't do that. You can't have an actress who is 30 and then say that she's a minor. There are some weird things which really think about it, that they're minors. Like, you know, a couple of the characters hook up later, and it's like, they have sex. Like, you see them in bed in the next episode, and you're like, yeah, but they're 16, so that's kind of, you know, you really think about it. They're supposed to be kids, right? So teenagers, you know. But, yeah, and there is... Stephanie's story in this is just all over the place, okay? It's set up that there's going to be a love triangle between her... I keep wanting to call him Hunter, I don't know why. Her... Turner, and her boyfriend, Brody, played by Rahar Adams, who is still younger than her, I think. And there's that love triangle. But then, that love triangle, like, at some point, I forget she had a boyfriend. So, oh, yeah, Brody's her boyfriend, right. Because there's the whole thing where secretly they're together, and then they end up being together, and then like I forgot. Oh yeah, they're together, and so it seems like Hunter's gonna have this unrecruited love for her. And by the end of the season, they're gonna get together. But out of nowhere, all of a sudden, he and Duella hook up, which is way more of an intriguing prospect when when you think of, oh, it's Batman's son and the Joker's daughter, and they hook up, right? But the very next episode, they reveal that she's not the Joker's daughter; she's Harvey Dent's daughter. We'll get to Harvey, because that's the best thing they've done in this show is Harvey Dent. But yeah, and that's thrown out. And then within like the same episode, Stephanie, who has been primarily straight the entire season, just makes out and now is in some sort of relationship with Harper, who is, I think both siblings are supposed to be on the LGBT community, which is fine. They're written that way in the comics, that's fine. But this, at first I was like, ooh, and then when I really thought about it, like, no, this is bullshit. You are taking a straight character who up to this point in the series has been straight, and you are outright saying that a straight person can be converted by someone who is LGBT. That is, how is nobody, like, no one's probably watching the show, but that is, no, that's bullshit. That is like, I don't know, that's like saying, oh, it's like someone was, doing the dailies, or looking at the script and go, oh, we got too many straight characters in this show. Make her a lesbian. Even though it makes no sense. Like, 3/4 of the way of the series, she's now in some weird relationship with Harper. And by the way, Brody is supposedly killed off, but he's brought back because of this stuff called Electrum that brings people back from the dead. He comes back into the picture in the last 2 episodes, and there's no mention of their relationship, but there's mention of, so are you and Harper a thing now? To Stephanie and her? And she's like, yeah, what about your boyfriend? Hello? There's nothing. There's no mention of him. They 3 episodes in, they start being like vigilantes, become the Gotham Knights. And then by the end of this, Brody's just a part of the team. Like, they're all making a decision whether they should continue after what happened in the finale. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And he's like, I'm in. And I'm like, no, you're not a part of this. You were on one mission, and you got arrested with them, but you're not a part of the team. I don't know where he comes from. And they're not really a team. Like, you think they're going to set up being a crime-fighting team, but no, it's mostly they're hiding. And the school where they attended, where a couple of them, Turner and Stephanie attended, and Brody attended, and they're all hanging up there, but it's like, I don't know. Now let's get this out of the way, okay? Carrie Kelly, yes, she's African American. I don't care, the actress does a good job. I was a little iffy on it at first, because I'm always iffy when they cast African American actors or actresses in characters they're not supposed to. Carrie Kelly is supposed to be a ginger, and as a ginger myself, in some way, shape, or form, there's gingers in my family. I was offended. I'm like, why? And I was actually shocked that they got a blonde to be in this, because you look at every show now, everyone has dark hair, but you have Turner is also a ginger. Maybe that's why they changed her, because the actor playing Turner is ginger. I don't know. Let's talk about the best character in the show, Harvey Dent, played by Misha Collins. And finally, we get the portrayal of Two-Face I've wanted since Batman the Animated Series did it, and they haven't done it since. The Harvey Dent with a multiple personality disorder, with the alternate personality dysmorphia, I think he calls it, this big bad Harv, for lack of a better term to call him, that has done things behind his back. He's passing out. He's waking up. He's done things that, he didn't know that he did. That is the Harvey Dent I remember from there. And yes, by the end of the series, he does become Two-Face. He gets the hydrochloric acid splashed on his face, get this side of his face, but and they do show it at the end when he confronts someone. I'll get to it, and it's just like, yes, this looks great. Now we're not having any more, and that's another cliffhanger where it's like, going into it, I'm like, I hope they don't do the Two-Face thing, because that's just gonna make me want more. And they did it, and I wanted more, and we're not getting it. That's another thing. And yeah, so yeah, Harvey Dent, or Big Bad Harv, more than likely, is Duella's father, and that's why I think this character kind of tumbles. It's interesting to have this character who is the Joker's daughter, like the biggest, baddest criminal in Gotham, and she is now has feelings for Turner, who is, for all intents and purposes, the son of Batman, and she's questioning her morality. If she wants to live up to her father's legacy, or is she going to change her ways and be different from her father? But now, she's Harvey Dent's daughter. Harvey Dent's a good guy. Well, his alternate personality has done things, but there's all that will she, won't she thing that you could have done with that is just chucked out the window because you wanted to have this twist. And by the way, her mother is played by Lindy Booth, and in the span of watching that episode, I reviewed a few days earlier Cry Wolf for the Pick 10 Horror 4, and I was just like, what are the odds that I watched something with Lindy Booth? Great actress. She's good in the role. Her morals are all over the place too, but and yeah, the villains are the Court of Owls, and they show that Lincoln March, Brody's father, is the leader. And then, with 2 episodes left, they flip that on its head, revealing that no, he's not the leader, his wife is, and surprise, she's not who she says she is, because she's some doctor who's been using the electrode for centuries to keep herself alive. And then every single person, like the ending to the episode 12 really had me a little bit on the fence, because they're like, okay, we're going to be the next, we're going to go kick some ass. Okay, this is leading to a confrontation for the finale. But all it does is they run into the building and they see all the members of the Court of Owls are dead, and they get framed for it and sent to jail. And I went, no, why are you, and then they remind you that Duella's still out there. Like, yes, Duella's going to come rescue them. And then the next episode starts, and she's already been captured by the evil woman, by Brody's mom, and I'm just like, no, you're making the decisions wrong. Like, she should be the one to save them. That's her moral thing. Like, she sees theirs in jail. She realizes now that her father's a good man, so she should be a good person. No, she just strapped to a bomb with Harvey, and Harvey has to bring out his evil version just as shit hits the fan. The one twist that did have my eyebrows a-perking, was revealed. It was revealed a couple episodes ago, or the last episode before this, that Hunter's parents were... Is it Hunter? Turner. Turner's parents were killed by the Batman. But in this episode, it's actually revealed that they were assassins. That their mission was to kill Batman, so he killed them in self-defense and adopted Turner. But it's revealed that Turner's parents were working for a man named Henri Ducard. And if the last scene of this episode indicates anything, they were leaning hard towards it's Ra's al Ghul. So they're taking from Batman the Animated Series for Harvey Dent and the Dark Knight films for Ra's al Ghul. The way it seems, because, and again, they could have wrote this better, but like, they set up there's these bombs in Gotham City, and they're gonna go off in all the buildings that Alan Wayne, the great grandfather of Bruce Wayne, or grandfather of Bruce Wayne, whatever, built in Gotham City, because they all have secret 13th floors. they're able to figure out a way to just be able to set off the bomb in Wayne Tower, which does mean a lot to Batman fans because that is where Batman does his business, you know? And so I put a lot of people out of jobs. But anyway, that one's going to blow up. It's going to disconnect all the other ones. Because if they deactivate that one, all the other ones blow up. So that one. So they're trying to get out, and just as they're going to get in the elevator to leave, Turner has a change of heart and goes to get his dad's journals. And I went, what? And just as he's about to reach the, he's in the lobby, he's about to reach the door. By the way, at this point he has 55 seconds left, and I swear it takes more than a minute to get this scene done. But he goes to leave, and evil Electrum lady shows up with two bodyguards, or two Talons as they're called, and they're all of a sudden attacked and killed by a bunch of people with guns. And I went, oh, it's a SWAT team. And I realized, no, it's not. They're talking a different language. And I went, oh, they work for Ducard. And they, which is obvious. And then the building blows up. So everybody thinks Turner is dead. And it leaves with them deciding to keep being the Gotham Knights, which, honestly, deciding to be the Gotham Knights and protect the town should have been in the first episode, but everything just kind of goes south from there, because it's like, oh, I get it, they're going to become a team, they're going to hide in the Batcave. No, everyone knows Bruce Wayne is Batman. The police raid the Batcave and take everything from the Batcave. So no hiding there. And I'm like, no, what are we doing? Because it's just like, it's a little iffy at the beginning, but as it gets going, it gets better, and then at the end, just sort of. And then we get the cliffhanger of him being brought to Henri Ducard, or Mr. Henry as he calls him, and sending out that, I trained your parents, I trained Batman, and now I'm going to train you, and show. And it's like, okay, so it's a two-sided coin. It's a Harvey Dent two-sided coin here. One side, Abraham Lincoln positive had here, is that Superman and Lois also did a cliffhanger, but that show had been renewed, but they didn't know that. So they had the balls to have that kind of cliffhanger. I think if you'd seen Superman and Lois, and you know how this season ended, and you're sitting there going, yeah, one hell of a cliffhanger. Imagine if the show was canceled like this one was. But on this side, you look at the Winchesters. The Winchesters had enough smarts in their head to make their finale seem like an overall finale for the show, as well as the season. Like, oh, you could pick up from here, but also they can do whatever they want, and it's kind of be over. They could just live as a couple for the rest of their lives. They could just go on to have normal lives, and that could work. Here, there is no doubt that they were setting up for stuff, and I was kind of hoping going into this that they would just do the right thing and kind of complete it. And by the way, them getting cleared of all the charges, it just sort of happens. Like, they're in jail, and I don't understand this plan. They frame them, they set them up to be taken to jail, right? And then they send the Talons after them, so automatically they're in there telling their stories of what's going on. The cops don't believe a single word. And then the lights go out. The Talons show up. And now, everything those kids were telling us is true. Court of Owls or Miss Electrum lady, you're stupid. Okay? You were stupid because you had an out. Right? You had an out. All you had to do was set the bombs, have them explode, and it would look like they killed the Court of Owls, and then set up the whole town to get blown up, and you'd have them in jail, and you'd be free to run off and do whatever you want. But you had to be a James Bond villain and you had to cross your T's and dot the I's by taking them out. No, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, this is, we have to have an action scene, so we have to have him come for him. instead of a slow burn where you could just have someone like Duella break them out. I don't know. And also, the scene where Carrie's mom gets stabbed is fucking stupid because she sees the assassin coming behind, and instead of doing something to stop him, she just goes, ah, 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 as her mom gets stabbed. And I'm like, if you had, not screamed, you had enough time to take that guy out. But instead, I'm just like, no. And it doesn't go anywhere. She doesn't die. It's implied that she uses the Electrum to save her. So, yeah, I don't get why she had to be stabbed and taken to the hospital. I don't know. It's more character development for her, I guess, but I don't know. Overall, I feel like the show was a mixed bag. I would have liked to have seen at least one more season to see if they can build upon it and improve it, because when you watch something that's only one season, you see the flaws and you wonder where they could take it. That's why I do short-lived, right? And I could have done this as a short-lived. Short-lived is a show where I watch a show and think, whether or not it should have continued, or if it, felt like it was justified in its ending. And a lot of times I want to see more from some of the shows that I watch, Shows like Secret Girlfriend or Invasion, which I haven't reviewed yet, but I will. I can't think of anything other ones on top of my head that I've done, but I want to see more from, right? And I want to see more from this. I feel like there could have been more. And I feel like CW just got too cheap. They don't want to spend money to do shows like they used to anymore. These new owners are too fucking cheap and just want to go to the lowest common denominator and do only these easy, you purchase the stuff, you put them out, and you can make money off reruns and stuff. That's all they want to do. You're getting some new shows, but they're cheap-made stuff. I guarantee the quality of the shows on the CW are going to go down. I have no faith in Superman Lois Season 4. I feel like you're taking out all of the good stuff, which was the side characters. You're getting rid of them for the most part. You're gonna get rid of. You're probably gonna have more just family drama stuff, which was the heart of the show, and it worked, but less on other stuff, supervillains and all that. And yeah, also give Lex Luthor a raise or make a shame about that damn beard. I'm sick of having Lex Luthor with a beard. I'm sick of it. John Cryer pulled it off, but this just looks like Abraham shaved his head. I'm sorry. It does. I'm sorry. Michael Kudlitz could have shaved his beard off. I'm sorry. He's good in the role, by the way. But anyway, Gotham Knights, back to the show I'm actually talking about. I think it was decent. I think we could have done more. And mostly I just want to show where Batman's not already dead or left Gotham City, but I think it was decent, and I think I would have liked to see another season and where it would have gone, but that's the thing with cliffhangers, like, you want this show to end on a note that could go either way, but this was definitely leaning in another way like that. I just don't understand. From the beginning, the show was doomed. So why did the show creators think that they were going to have more seasons? If I was going to, okay, this is probably going to be our only shot, let's just have a bookending, a beginning and an end, and just do it, It should have ended with them being exonerated for the murders, and then saying they're going to be the Gotham Knights, putting their hands together, whatever, and then end. The Harvey thing would have been fine, because you're been teasing that all season, that would have worked, but the cliffhanger they had with Ducard, I don't know. Because now I want to see more. If they had just mentioned Ducard, like when they were talking about his parents' death, and Ducard, they worked for Ducard, that would have been enough. And it's like, oh, they could, because even then, like, oh, I see where they could go in the next season, but then they really just sort of laid that on there, and it just, I don't know, sour taste in my mouth and all that. But anyway, what are your thoughts on Gotham Knights? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.